So, yeah, your mom sent me something today, a video of when you were younger. So, Taylor's going to show it to you right now.
Oh, my God. I've seen this.
We're both at a run. We have 5 hits. They have 2. There's a runner on first and second, and then he retires something. 0 out. So, if he even gets a sack fly, we have a chance to win it. And we are in the bottom of the 7th.
You think this place would be pretty excited? He bunted again. Now what?
Now, any hit, basically, we score. Unless it's like a ground ball right back to the pitcher.
Would we take we'd even take a pop fly right now, wouldn't we?
Well, to the outfield.
And look who's up.
Oh, and even best because it's no shirt. So, look over there.
Dude, that you knew. How old were you there?
Well, that was 2017 opening day against the Royals. We won that game 7-2. I remember Irvin Santana pitched like 7 innings and just like dominated them.
Oh, that was the playoff year with Irvin. He was our main.
17, yeah.
Yeah, so like they ended up losing the first round against the Yankees, the wild card game, right?
And then Didi hit the homer. That was
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I was at that game.
In Yankee Stadium?
No, that Didi hit a homer. Not that game. Maybe it was the following year when Didi hit a 3-run bomb, like our playoff game the next year too.
Yeah.
So
That was,
I didn't like Didi. Well, this is a Complete Athlete podcast where we get you your next level in your sport and in life. We are here with Myles Clark, and we're talking baseball today. So super excited to have you on, Myles. I know you've been anticipating this for probably a month and a half since you were supposed to be on in winter break, but you're on vacation. So yeah,
I'm really excited to be here. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, well, you deserve it, man. I mean, you were the co-MVP of the winter national team, so you deserve to have your own podcast.
Yeah.
He's super humble. We'll just say that he's not gonna talk about that stuff. He's very into his faith. He's got his cross on there. Like we'll talk a little bit more about your baseball journey. But where'd you first start out playing, Myles? Tell us a little bit about your journey. Like as you were younger, like 3, 4, 5 years old, like little league, all the teams that you've played on, all the way up to high school now, where you're a sophomore.
Well, it's actually it's pretty long.
Pretty long story. Hey, absolutely. We got time here, man.
So I started playing t-ball when I was 3, and I was at Crawl, the Coon Rapids Andover Little League.
Yeah.
And I stayed there through when I was 12, and a lot of really fun seasons there. That's a great Little League program. They do such a good
absolutely.
job. The fields-
Xander, the guy who just came in here, he played for Crawl.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, we worked our way up through Crawl. My last year at Crawl, I hit my first out of the park homer, which is still like my favorite moment ever.
Really?
That was really, really cool.
That's awesome.
I still have that ball. I keep it in my room, and yeah, it means a lot to me. Yeah, I was always on the younger side of Crawl, so I was always like a year behind of my age group just because they had like this weird age thing. My birthday's in June, so I'm younger side of my grade.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was so that was Crawl. And then after Crawl, I wanted to do Blaine traveling, but I didn't make the team, and that was the COVID year. So it didn't really matter. No one played anyway. So I did this Gopher State League with a ton of my buddies.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
I coached against you.
I do. I remember that, yes.
Well, I helped out with the All-Star team at the end of the year that year, but I remember coaching against you, Tucker, Zach Larson. I don't know who else was on that team that I might know, but yeah, that was you guys were pretty good. It was a mixture like Coon Rapids, Andover, Blaine kids.
Yeah. Carson Tim was on that team. Aiden Robidoux was on that team.
Oh, really?
His dad was the coach.
Oh, okay.
That was really fun.
Absolutely.
After Gopher State, I tried out for Blaine again. Traveling the next year, I didn't make that team. So I believe that's when I went to Soderville and met Brandon Bezak at that time. And
Bezo, you guys were the 1-2 punch, huh?
we immediately just had this like weird connection.
That's
with
when
the
you
pitcher and
first met
catcher.
him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was only like 2 years ago, I think. It wasn't
I know.
that long ago.
Not that long ago at all. Actually, I don't think it was like less than 2 years ago, because the fall of or August of 2020 is when I helped coach that All-Star team you were on with, Flatten and Tucker and all the guys that will be on our podcast at some point. They got to earn it, but they'll be on here at some point. Myles has earned it. But so you met him probably April of 2021. So that's less than 2 years ago, but that's crazy.
Yep.
And you guys are like brothers now.
Really close, really close.
Absolutely.
And then after that, that was my first year at CA. I was planning to do a P5, but the spring before that, I had a really good P5 tournament. It was my first ever time doing a club team like that.
Yeah.
But then we just ended up coming here. I know Tucker played here, and he said it was a really great experience. So we thought it was a good idea. And then last fall, it was really fun. We played really well and competed, so we decided to come back this year. And then this spring, I played for my high school freshman team. That was really fun. We were really good because I was on B, and my grade at Blaine is like stacked.
Yeah, it is.
It's loaded. So the B team just kind of destroyed every team we played.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then summer team for Blaine came along too, which is just bunch of the high school kids. And we played Spring Lake Park a couple times there too.
Yeah.
I remember I hit a double off John's team. That was kind of
I
funny.
know. I was at that game.
Really?
Yeah, I think you and where was Colton in the order? Was he right before? Like I remember seeing both. Like you hit one in the gap, and then Colton did too.
I was probably 4. He was probably 5. The lineup on that team was a little bit different every game.
Yeah. Coach Ryan Erlinson, right?
Yep, he's a good guy.
He's a great guy. I used to play with his older brother, and his dad used to coach our Blaine 15-year-old team when we were younger. Mm-hmm. So I know their family really well.
Nice. And then we came back and played fall baseball here. Brought a ton of the Blaine guys over, like Jack Stiles and Max Skinny, and that was really cool to see them get involved in this because they're great teammates and
absolutely
great friends and good baseball players too.
Yeah, we love having them. Like, what would you like from your standpoint? And this is like you just as a baseball player. Like, what is it about Complete Athlete that like you love about or like has gotten you better from that standpoint?
I mean, the one-on-one coaching here is like ridiculously incredible. Like Sam Knight already is, I feel like, improved me way better as a catcher. And even before then, last fall, when I don't know if we had like a catcher's coach at that time, I don't exactly remember.
No, yeah.
But I still got way better just from advice from you and even John, and that was really nice to see.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, from the standpoint of where you guys are at, you're at a crucial point in your development journey. We want to give you as much attention as we can to develop you to get better, especially when your grade's stacked like yourself. We want you to continue to keep playing and having some fun. Because I know you have fun, and it's spurring a passion for the sport, which it seems like you had at 8 years old whenever that video was, too. You're calling out the game. You're like a broadcaster, dude. Like, what is that? That's awesome.
Yeah, speaking of, like, broadcasting, if I don't become, like, a baseball player, that would be definitely a path.
Okay, well, here's your first step. They're watching. The broadcast scouts are watching right now. What's a funny story throughout your time as a baseball player, like with you and your teammates?
Ooh, I'm going to go back to that Soderville year
when
I met Bizak. This is with Bizak. That was kind of last year I pitched just because my arm just couldn't really do it anymore.
Yeah, pitching and catching stuff, man.
Yeah. So I was closing a game, I believe, and a little bit of a jam, but there's 2 outs. We're like 1 out away from getting it. And my catcher, a good friend of mine named Joey, he came up to me. And we had a chat, and then he went back, and then Bizak from third base runs over to me, and it was the middle of summer, so it was like a really hot day, and he goes, "Myles, I know it's a really hot summer day, but you're still the hottest thing out in this field." So every single time now at CA, when he's struggling, I go out there, I say that to him, and I think it relaxes him.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like when I'm like, Myles, go chat with him, or you do it yourself. That's what you say to him?
Usually, and then stuff, obviously. But.
He's wild, and then all of a sudden, B. That's awesome. No, that's the thing. Like, you just have to say something to get yourself out of your head. Because otherwise, if you're in your head, you're just gonna, make a error or things like that, or miss the ball, or put too much pressure on yourself. When it's just a game, it's a fun game. So
yeah, and I think it helps him out a lot because sometimes he can seem really tense out there on the mound, and then right when you relax him down, he's unstoppable. It's ridiculous.
And I love that. Like right now, we're having a podcast about you, but you're talking about a friend who you see so much potential in, and like what makes them tick. And that's probably what makes a good catcher. Like you're commanding the field, you're helping out your teammates. Like you're such a humble dude. Like congrats to you, man. Like super proud of you as a person, not just as a baseball player.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of helps with experience just because it's catching. It's so easy to learn from the years, like because you make so many mistakes, but then you like fix them.
But that's baseball.
Yeah, it's just
baseball is a game of failure. Like I've said it multiple times, 300 hitter, you're an all-star, like in the majors at least. But like it's all about that adversity and coming back from it. And I think you had a little rough fall, right? Like you were getting jammed a lot and, not getting extended on your swing. So you weren't belting the ball like you were the previous fall. But that's the thing. You had a crazy, really good spring season. I don't know how your summer season was, but like it's all these ebbs and flows of like hot streaks and cold streaks. And it's just how you come back from that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. So what's your major goal with baseball and just overall in life, if you have any? I know you're a 10th grader, but I'm just asking you that.
I guess at the moment, I don't really have long-term goals. Obviously, playing college baseball is, like a dream and a goal of everyone. But, I mean, like short-term, I always just kind of think to myself, just make that next team. Just one step at a time. Think, what can I do to make this team? And then when I make that team, the team higher than that, I think, what can I do to make that team? And what can I improve upon to make that team?
And that's the right mentality. Xander, who we were just talking with before, like he thinks if you think too far ahead, you might get, anxious, in the box when you're hitting because you're putting too much pressure on yourself. But just, staying day by day, trust the process. That's my big thing. Getting 1% better every day. I think you have that same mentality. And like you're not like very high or very low. I feel like you're very even keel. Like when you're going through those slumps, like what are you thinking to yourself?
Well, usually I just try to stay calm at the plate. Don't get nervous. Don't get anxious. You still got to think that, you can hit any pitcher out there.
Absolutely.
The second you get in your own head at the plate, it's almost always done, especially for me. I've learned from experiences like that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But then I usually just kind of look at my swing and think, what's wrong here? And like this fall, I was getting jammed a little bit. And even I think that first North Carolina tournament, I was still getting jammed a little bit. So I decided just to make my stance a little more simpler, a little more basic. Just go back to the basics, go back to fundamentals, and just swing and like trust myself, trust my hand-eye, and it ended up working. As I had a really good Fort Myers and what was the other one? Vegas.
Yeah, that team we lost to, the coach, the big African American guy. He was like, that swing is pure. Like he said that to me. I'm like, yeah, he's got a good swing. Like you hit that outside pitch just straight down the right field line. I think it was like right after one of Taylor's big hits, and I'm like, dang, we're going the other way today and staying, sitting back on the ball, letting the ball travel, and you drove the ball. I actually want to pull up some of your stats from the winter season just to highlight them, and we'll actually put we'll put it up here for you guys too. But let me see. I should have pulled this up here earlier, but what's up? That's why it's not. Oh no, I know. I didn't want to do it in the middle of it, but thanks, appreciate it. We got your stats here. So we only played 9 games, but you got about 30 plate appearances, hit 444, OBP of 500, 1,130 OPS, 630 slugging percentage, 12 hits, 7 singles, 5 doubles. Those doubles, man. Like you were like that the previous fall too, and I think your spring season was very similar to that too. 15 RBIs, way outlied everybody. The next guy on the team had 9. So like, dude, you were crushing the ball. Why do you think it was such a good end of the year after having a tough fall? With the simplification stuff?
Yeah, a little bit of that, but also every time I get out, I always either like to chalk it, or if it was something I know I can fix, like if it was unlucky, like a line out, then I'm like, all right, just do it again next AB. It'll drop.
Yeah, but, the line out is you beat that pitcher, you just hit it in the wrong spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if it's something I know I can fix, then I'm just, my mind focuses on that for about a good 3 minutes. I get what I need to fix in my head, and then I go out there and next AB when I'm in the batter's box or on deck circle, I'm just focusing on that while I swing. And I go up there and
just do it.
It's natural by then, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that mentality is perfect. Calm, cool, and collected, not like putting too much pressure on yourself, because I think that's the biggest thing that even a lot of our guys that we currently train with, whether you're 10 or 18 years old, like once you learn that and learn how to do the right things to calm yourself down and just go up there and hit the ball, and you're good to go, For you as, obviously you got school. You got baseball training. You got teams you're playing on. Like, do you have a job right now? Like, what are you doing?
Well, we've tried, but not many places have hired 15-year-olds.
Well, let's talk about that experience actually, because I know a little bit about it from hearing through the grapevine. No, tell us about it.
Okay, so I went to Texas Roadhouse for my first ever job interview, and I was really excited because I needed a job.
When was this?
Like October, I think.
Okay.
And I was really excited. I've never tried to get a job before, and I started needing money because you get to an age where you start wanting to buy stuff.
Yeah.
And so they go out there, and then they hire me on the spot right after the interview. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we want you. I'm like, okay. And then
Yeah.
I go home, and then I go to this job orientation, and I do a bunch of this, like, file a ton of paperwork
Yep.
and get a tour of the place. I met everybody. I met the girl who cooks the really good rolls.
Oh, the cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
Well, the rolls with the cinnamon butter. Oh my gosh,
They're so
those
good.
are
she was really sweet. And then I got a shirt that was sized for me. We bought shoes, we bought pants, we got everything. And then they said, all right, we'll call you when we need you to come in for your first day. And I was like, all right, cool. And so I sat there for about like 3 days, and I hadn't gotten a call yet. And then my friend Brandon Hawkins, who goes to Blaine, he went to Texas Roads for an interview because I told him, hey, they're hiring and they need busters right now. And he's like, all right, I'll check out that place.
Yeah.
So he goes there, and then he texts me, and he's like, hey, how did you get a job? They don't hire 15-year-olds. You have to be 16. And I was like really confused then. And then like, about 5 minutes later, they called me, and they're like, hey, so we thought you were like 20, but you can't actually work
look
here.
at this guy out here. No, I'm just saying, like, the way, like, you're filled out and you're a bigger guy, like, you, like, they literally thought you were, like, a senior in high school or a freshman in college. Like, that's funny.
It was. And then
That's going to be a story you're going to be able to tell, like, a long time.
And it didn't really make sense to me because I'd like filled out my birthday on a ton of the stuff.
Yeah.
And it's 6/21/2007.
They probably just, like, overlooked
Yeah.
that and they just didn't think about it. That's hilarious.
And then Brady also went to get a job, and then I think he took the spot I was going to get, which is funny. But,
It is funny. Well, you got the job that I was supposed to get, but you probably looked a lot younger than I did. Oh, that's funny, man. But yeah, you'll get a job here soon. When are you 16?
June 21st.
Oh
so
yeah, you're younger
it's a
for your
little
grade.
while. Exactly.
Did you know I was younger for my grade too?
No, actually, I didn't.
August 14th.
So that's like way back.
So I was always either playing up. I had to sometimes play an age group down for like certain years. I think it was my 13-year-old year. But even a kid like who was a grade younger than me was older than me. You know.
Yeah.
So it happens. But you know, you're a good ball player, so it doesn't matter. Like that doesn't define you from that standpoint. And you hit the crap out of the ball, and you throw runners out, keep them at bay. So that's good stuff. What would you say your biggest accomplishment as a baseball player has been so far? Or as an athlete? Like I don't know what other sports you played when you were younger as well.
I played basketball for like 5 to 6 years.
Okay, when did you quit that?
This is actually my first year not playing, just
Oh,
because.
really?
Last year
becomes a lot.
Last year I played in-house during the high school team. I was like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And then my best accomplishment though was probably that home run back when I was 12. It just
Yeah,
running the bases for the first time was just so special to me.
absolutely. Have you hit any since?
No, I've hit a lot off the top of the wall though, so it's been really frustrating.
Yeah, I'm sure you're like, oh, I just need that extra inch. Yeah. Because I remember that fall tournament of fall 2021 when we were making the run for the MASH Fall Club Championships. Like you hit, the guy was lining up in the far left field corner and you still hit it over his head. It was like, okay, I don't know. This is the biggest shift I've ever seen. And he still can't catch it because it's hitting the base of the wall and he can't judge the ball because it's hit so high.
Yeah.
Like you hit the ball so high, like it's a major league fly ball. Like I don't know if you know you have that type of power.
I don't know. I didn't think I did.
You're humble. Yes, he is humble, guys. So we'll tell you that. But no, when you do have like a pop up, that ball is super high, and any infielder, like if there's wind, it's tough for them to judge.
I do notice that. Yes, you can feel it when it hits the barrel. I'm like, oh, that's way up there.
Exactly. So that's why you always run it out because
Yeah.
you never know like if they're gonna misplay it or anything like that, and you do. You're always the hustle guy. You're always making sure that your teammates are taken care of. Like I love that about you. Just you as a human being. It's probably from your parents.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
And a lot of that is also from Soderville. Just that was a big learning experience here for me.
Yeah.
Because this is my first team. It was the first time I really felt like a leader on my team because I had to be. No one really stepped up.
Yeah.
And so I think that really helped me out a lot.
It's probably a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it really
Believe it or
was.
not, like you playing for Soderville and you meeting Bizak, and then you guys coming to club ball the year after. Like, obviously, like we all have. Like I've told you, like even at the tryout the other night, I told you guys like when I got cut, right? Did you believe that?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Just because I said it,
Yeah.
I've said it before too. I don't know if you've noticed that, but like those types of circumstances where you don't make like a certain team, that's what drives you to like get better.
It makes you just it's what probably made me the player I am today. Just every single time someone said no, it just helped me get better.
Exactly, pushing yourself. So you didn't take it as like a failure, you took it as like a learning experience and became better from that. So I love that. Who do you look up to and why?
Well, my parents definitely, just because
Yeah.
they work so hard for me and my family, and they're just so nice. And
Yeah,
my mom gives me such great like life advice.
absolutely. You and her, you guys are two peas in a pod. You guys love hanging out with each other, which is great. No, that's good, man.
It's I think it's because we're both like super big introverts. We just want to kind of hang.
You're an
chill.
introvert? That was my next question. You're an introvert?
Yes, I am very much an
Really?
introvert.
Okay.
I'm not a big hangout guy. I just want to like relax.
So like when you come to like practices, you're like, okay, I need to like I had all my energy go up and now I need to go recharge.
I usually I just go home and just like lay down. I'm like, oh,
Thank goodness. Oh, that's funny. Well, that's at least you know yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then do you have any other influential people in your life that have kind of molded you as a person?
I had a really great coach back in Crawl named Greg Garbo. He gave me a lot of great baseball advice and life advice just in general. He's a really great guy. He still kind of keeps in contact with my parents.
That's awesome.
He's still supporting me from here, and I haven't even seen him in like 3 years, and he's
Yeah.
still doing it. So it's super cool of him. And then also both of my sisters, especially my older one, she works harder than anyone I've ever met in my life.
Really?
She was like a theater girl, but she also had a job. And that at Blaine High School, it's just like a lot at once. Like she never has free time, but
Yeah.
she's still.
How old is she?
She is
I didn't know you had other siblings. So.
18, I think.
Oh, okay.
She's in college. She went to St. Ben's, but like even when she's back here on winter break for like a month, she's still just going back to her job and just like working all day.
Where's she work?
Kendall's Chop House is
Kendall's,
by, the bunker
yeah.
course.
Yeah, I knew some people in high school that worked there. Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, super good food. Yeah, we did my dad's 70th birthday there right around Thanksgiving time frame. So we had one of the rooms and then went up to the bar and just, had some water. Do you have like a daily routine? Obviously, you're in school during the day. Do you have like certain stuff you do after school or before school to get in the swing of things?
Usually after school, after I get my homework done, I usually like to go to Crunch Fitness and do whatever there.
You're part of that crew. So who all like part of the CA team goes there?
Colton's there. Like he lives there. It's his second home.
Goodness,
Max
Colton.
is there a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Bezak there. I think that's kind of it. Jack's there sometimes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so is Ashton. But
Okay.
yeah, everyone at Blaine goes to it basically.
I know. So what time do you usually go? Like around 4:35, somewhere in there.
It's usually about 5 to 6. It's just because
Okay.
my little sister has basketball practices.
Yep.
So
and you still have to
it's-
get the ride
It's one
because
trip. Yeah.
you don't get your license till June, right? Do you have your date booked to take the test? Because I know that's a big thing.
No, we're trying right now, but it's so like
Backed up.
overbooked and backed up.
It's been backed up since March 2020 because they had to cancel all those appointments then, so everything's piled up.
Yeah.
So you know what I did for my driver's test? I didn't take it at Arden and I didn't take it at Anoka. My mom grew up in a town like 3 hours west of here, and I literally did the test in a small town. And just so I could get my license on time because I thought about it too late and I didn't book it. So maybe think about doing that. I don't know. Like if you really want to get your license on time, I don't know. It's totally up to you. How would you say you are as a player on the field and at the plate? Like, are you calm, cool, and collected, or like, are you more an Energizer Bunny type, or just tell us a little bit about that.
Definitely more calm, cool, and collected. I don't, unless something like great happens, I like to, stay focused at all times. And like the second you kind of lose track, especially as a catcher, like a lot of bad things can happen. So I think it's best just to kind of stay chill and, trust yourself and trust your mechanics and stay focused.
Absolutely. And so, like, what are the thoughts that are going through your head when you're up at the plate, or even as a catcher, like catching the ball and trying to throw a guy out?
When I'm catching and trying to throw a guy out, that's usually just get the ball out of the glove as fast as I can and then try to get a hard throw down there. That's kind of all you're thinking. And then, obviously, like you think about accuracy and your release point, and you like whip on your arm when you throw. But then at the plate, it's definitely more. Just don't think. Just you are a good baseball player, so just swing and
Yes, absolutely.
trust your own judgment on off speed and fastballs, and you're usually going to be right. You're good.
Absolutely. I think you trust in yourself, and that's why you're such a good hitter in general, and you're going to keep getting better. You know, you have a lot of natural talent, and you put a lot of work in too. So those combined, it's like a multiplication factor, multiplier. Like any video, do you play any video games or anything?
I do.
What video games do you play?
I usually play the sports ones, but recently I've gotten to like the story mode games, like Detroit, and right now I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. So that that's a Star Wars type game, right?
It is.
Yeah. Have you seen all the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I have too. I love it. Love those. Love Lord of the Rings. Any of those type of fantasy story type stuff I love. So that's cool. I didn't know they had those video games anymore for Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess, what are you currently working on to improve your skills?
I'm doing a lot of like catcher stretches at home. I did a lot of research on that this off season because I want to get more flexible. I think that'll make my job much easier, and I'll be much stronger, much more able to catch for longer.
Absolutely.
And I think it'll also help my throwdowns, just because sometimes you get kind of like an awkward place with your legs, and it's a little bit more difficult. But a lot of catching stretches, like a lot of time at crunch, doing chest and back, and doing a lot of cardio too, trying to slim down a little bit, get a little faster. I think that'll also help me. And then every Monday I'm here doing tee work and soft toss with Sam Knight and a couple other boys.
Yeah. What drills has Sam been doing with you lately, other than tee work and front toss?
We were doing these. We were working on on outside pitches at the tee. You want to kind of bring your hands in like a 2-strike swing, and then we were doing like 3-0 swings and being able to connect with the ball, but also knowing when it's your pitch and how hard you should swing. We're doing a lot of that. I don't know. We've only had 2 sessions, so we haven't much done. But yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. I was just seeing what you're working on, so that's awesome. And then, what is your own definition of what a complete athlete is?
I think there's kind of multiple definitions. I mean, 5-tool player immediately comes to mind. It's kind of what it means.
The physical aspect,
exactly, the physical. But then I think even more importantly, the mental aspect of how far you're willing to go to get better, and like how much you love the game and how much you're obsessed with baseball. It's kind of like that quote from the movie Hustle on Netflix, where he's like, "Obsession's going to be talent every single time." That's exactly the mindset you got to have.
I love it. Yes, with Juancho Hernan Gomez in there. What was his name again?
Bo Cruz.
Bo Cruz.
Yeah.
I love it because he's like kind of a fringe player in the NBA. He's not like a star. So like it's that the Hustle movie. Like when I watched it, I'm like, I need to rewatch it because to be honest, I remember you were saying something about that like a month ago. Like you're like Bo Cruz or something. And I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, because that's kind of the mentality we have. Like in order to get your next level, you have to go through the mental mindset part of like having setbacks and going through adversity, and then you're gonna have an upstroke of doing really well. So that was basically your fall, for hitting wise, and then your winter was like complete opposite. It's like, I mean, you still did really good in the fall. I'm just saying, like it was compared to like what we're used to. You're crushing the ball, So super excited to have you on here, Myles. Thanks for coming on. Oh, last but not least, where can listeners find you online?
My Instagram is
we got Myles G. Clark 7 in the background here.
And then my Twitter is the same thing but without the 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why'd you do it differently? Was it taken?
I think it was taken. Yeah.
What? There's another Myles G. Clark?
I guess. There we go.
All right, we got Myles G. Clark 7 with the Instagram and Myles G. Clark for the Twitter. And do you post stuff on there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, sweet. Some of your highlights and things like that.
On Twitter, I do. On Instagram, I just post just fun stuff like. I posted a picture of me and my sister who built a snowman.
That's awesome, man. I love it. Well, thanks for coming on, Myles.
Thanks for
Super
having
excited
me.
to have you on here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a good night.